Jerry Seinfeld had the story that basically when you're doing well, nobody says that you're doing good, but when you're horrible, everybody says how great you are, because people secretly want you to fail. They don't want you to succeed. So if everybody's telling you that you're doing good, be skeptical of it, because that means you suck. But if everybody says that you suck, then either you're like the worst person ever, or you got something going on. So let's continue on. Basically, we're talking about the CBDs, cannabidiol, right? The CBD medical marijuana bill was passed this year, 2014, Senate Bill 120 by Julie Denton, Republican representative out of Louisville, and so CBD has been able to cure or show promise for lots of things. Okay, so we see that CBD reverses alcohol-induced brain damage. That's incredible, right? So alcohol-induced brain damage. If you get drunk and you smoke or you take some CBD, which I think you can smoke it and get CBD in it, or take the oil, then it actually provides hangover relief. Probably also long-term permanent damage too. It changes, it prompts physiological brain changes. So it changes your brain and it rejuvenates it. It prompts it to rejuvenate what it had already lost. Cannabidiol is an effective treatment option for severe social anxiety. So people say that they smoke cigarettes, or that they think it's the THC, but it's actually the cannabidiol. The same thing with cancer. This one, it actually blew my mind. Okay, so cannabidiol turns off the cancer gene found in metastasis. Okay, so what is metastasis? That'll be a review question. Metastasis. So metastasis, 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 metastasize, metastasis. I should learn how to say it if I'm going to test it, right? But metastasis, okay? So the cancer gene found in metastasis, that's where the cancer spreads. Scientists at California Pacific Medical Center found that cannabidiol turns off a gene that causes cancer cells to meta-sta-tize. So meta-sta-tize. Metastasis, metastasis, meta-sta-tize. Okay, so whenever the cancer cells are metastatizing, or metastasis, whenever they're in metastasis or metastatizing, when they're spreading, so meta-sta-tize, this finding adds credibility to the growing evidence that marijuana is one of the best things a cancer patient can consume, whether for symptom relief or actual prevention. So whether to get the symptom to relieve or to actually make sure you don't get cancer. It also makes UCLA's marijuana doesn't cause lung cancer study that much more interesting. So UCLA points out that marijuana, you can't get lung cancer. No matter how much marijuana you smoke, you'll get, cancer from the tobacco paper if you use tobacco paper, but you won't get it from the actual marijuana. And actually the plant matter, I mean, you have all that resin stuff. If you can use a vaporizer, then there's no plant matter. Then it's just, you're just inhaling, the active compounds without actually getting anything. It's almost like a vaporizer, right? It's like these e-cigarettes. And I bet you there will be e-cigarettes that's going to come out that has THC or CBD or just the, active ingredient. Why not? I mean, that's what we do with cigarettes. So, okay. You have metastatizing, right? You get cancer and it starts to spread, but CBD actually turns that off, so it stops spreading, okay? That doesn't say it cures it. It just says that it stops the spread, right? Like a shotgun. Shotguns are good because it's got a spread. But to stop metastatizing, to stop metastasis, cancer spreading, you can take cannabidiol or CBD and it'll stop it. So that's fascinating, right? Is it possible the cannabanoids themselves actually offset the carcinogens found in smoke? So does the marijuana it just doesn't cause cancer, or does marijuana actually prevent it or stop it and is the cure for cancer, just like Ronnie Lee Smith talked about his entire life? He wanted to make Gallatin County, my hometown, have all the farmers raise the cure for cancer for the entire world. Could marijuana be the anti-cancer? A clinical trial in Germany found that cannabidiol to be as effective in treating schizophrenia as common antipsychotic medication with far fewer side effects. This further clarifies the yin-yang relationship of marijuana, since THC has been shown to trigger psychosis in high doses. So yin and yang. CBD seems to be all good, and THC seems to be get you high or whatever, but it's saying it triggers psychosis. I did see one study that says that there was a link between psychosis and marijuana, but not necessarily causation. So is it, I think it's more likely, not that weed causes it, but that psychotic people are reaching out for the weed. So those who already have psychosis are more likely to reach out for the marijuana, which is good. They should. If you're got psychosis, you should chill the fuck out, man. Have a joint. Imagine how much less war and conflict we would have actually if people, just took a hit of a joint. It puts some perspective in your life. So CBD, cannabidiol, is what offsets the negative mental effects of THC alone. That's what it says. It says offsets the negative mental effects, thus should be the focus of any marijuana user with a history of mental illness. So that's CBDs. You need your CBDs. If you're trying to just get the THCs, you're not getting all that you need. So don't try to extract any of it, right? Just take the whole thing, right? Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of run through a bunch of random facts. Henry Ford, he had, in 1941, he had made a car. The frame was 12 times lighter than steel and 10 times stronger than steel, and it was made from hemp material. So hemp material can make car parts, building materials. And the whole car, Henry Ford's 1941 car, was powered by hemp seed oil. So he could run a car with hemp seed oil. Now, Henry Ford was, he wrote the International Jew, and he was pro-segregation because he didn't want blacks and whites to unite, right? Just like Spalding University. But Jack Conway, Henry, I don't know, if somebody has science that's good and he's a bad person, does that mean, I don't know, I mean, he's a bad person, but it's interesting that he actually made a hemp car that was constructed by hemp materials. The frame is lighter, right? So it's barely, but stronger. 10 times stronger than steel. There's a hemp material that is 10 times stronger than steel. You know how strong steel is? And you're telling me that hemp can be made into a stronger substance than steel? So if the building of 9/11 was made out of this hemp substance that Henry Ford's car was made out of, they wouldn't have collapsed. Jack Conway, he's the Attorney General. He actually further clarifies that hemp research can be sold. Okay, so you have the amendment in the federal law, and then you have Kentucky that had passed it, and those two combined says, yeah, we have to do it for research purposes, but once we're finished with the research, we can sell it. So corporations, jump on. Y'all can make some money on this. You're allowed to sell whatever you're experimenting on. So, experiment on raising just tons and tons of paper products. I need to make an experiment. I want to see if I raise 50,000 acres of hemp, if I can make 50,000, acres worth of paper. And you will be able to do it, and you'll make a ton of money. So you'll solve that hypothesis, right? You don't know if there's going to be if you can do the paper thing or whatever, and then sell it all. So if you get this money, if you get this a license, or if you get permission from the agricultural department, you can raise whatever it is you want to raise of hemp, right? You can't be selling marijuana, just some hemp-related product. And I know people are going to try to slip in marijuana. I mean, the opportunity to do so would be so easy, right? Hemp is, you have to plant all these seeds real close together. But if you took one seed and planted it off to its side, that could turn into something that has lots of THC. So, and then also, I mean, the idea that we want to have strands of CBD. So how are we going to get strands of CBD? The only way we can do that is by, experimenting, mixing and matching. And so, you might have to raise, you'll have to destroy it, right? But you might have to raise some marijuana plants in order to get the CBD, empowered or induced hemp plants. So that's CBD, right? CBD. So that's Jack Conway. That's the Attorney General. He was sitting there saying, oh, it's not illegal. It's illegal. Right? He was trying to stop it. He's Operation Unite. He's been criminalizing lots of people who, he doesn't believe you have a right to your own body. He did go along with gay marriage, so good for Jack Conway on that. He's better than Steve Brashear. Steve eventually did sign the thing, but, the Democrats have not been the push to legalize marijuana. They very much have been the stop. They're not progressive. They don't have moral clarity when an issue actually comes up. How many years has marijuana been illegal? Prohibition didn't work in the 1930s. You're going to tell me that prohibition of marijuana has been working in the last 80 years? You've gotten rid of marijuana, huh? So marijuana prohibition has been a great success. So good job, Good job. You got all the marijuana off the streets, I'm glad you made it illegal. That was a good idea. Very smart, very smart. You got rid of all of it. Nobody ever smokes it ever, right? That's bullshit. That's total lies. Prohibition didn't do anything except for helps the police and their brutality and their oppression and the jails and the private prisons, and it helps the drug cartels and the drug dealers make as much money as they can. Those are the two groups, cops and the drug cartels. And then a lot of people in the middle are getting hit or hurt. A lot of families, right? So Tuesday, Conway's office sent the Agricultural Commissioner James Comer an advisory letter indicating that absent any federal guidance to the contrary, the Farm Bill appears to exempt hemp pilot programs from the Controlled Substances Act, allowing the sale of hemp in Kentucky by those programs. So you have these programs that's supposed to be for research only. Now you're allowed to sell those things, which they shouldn't be for profit. But now that he said that, they might actually try to make it about the profit, right? But the idea is they do the research and they have all this stuff. Well, once you have all the stuff, can you sell it? Yeah, you can sell it. So James Comer said this will make a world of difference. Before, he said some farmers were worried that they'd have to destroy the crop, but now the bill calls for researching marketability, so selling appears to be okay, Jack Conway's office concluded. So can you actually sell the product? Can you? We need paper. Can you sell hemp paper? Can you sell hemp clothing? Can you sell hemp oil? Can you sell CBD? Can you sell THC? Of course, you can sell any of it as long as it's hemp. I guess THC, what makes it hemp is it has no THC. So basically, that's how you know that there's going to be some hemp in all of it. Even like hemp has like 0.03% THC, but it has to have like basically negligible amounts, almost virtually nil. THC is illegal. That's the illegal thing of marijuana, THC. All the rest of marijuana is okay. So there's no restriction on the size of the hemp research plot, so people can raise as much acres as they want to. Just acres and acres and acres of hemp, and then they can sell, and acres of paper and hemp cars and the hempcrete, the material that's 10 times stronger than steel and 12 times lighter. So that's incredible. It's something that you can't break it, but it's lighter, so you can pick it up. I mean, that's both. Those are the two good. It's lighter and stronger. Perfect. Beautiful. So pilot programs have been under discussion at UK, U of L, Kentucky State, Murray State, Moorhead. Okay, that was actually a new one that I didn't have before, but Moorhead State, they've been talking about it. Hundreds of potential growers have applied online, so it's not just the 7. Hundreds of growers have applied online. Nutrition company Nutiva was interested in purchasing processed hemp seed. So already you got companies looking to buy hemp seed. There's a big debacle about the Italian hemp seeds coming in. I think if a farm just raised hemp seed, that's probably the biggest. That's what the history of Kentucky teaches me, that even back in the day, in the 1800s, we didn't have enough hemp seed. Just like today, we don't have enough hemp seed. So if I was a farmer that was raising hemp, that would be my main focus, just raising lots and lots of seed. Because not only do companies want the seed because they have, that's where the hemp oil is within the seed. It's also got a high nutritional value, so these nutrition companies want to pay for it, but also it creates more hemp. And that's a big problem. So you should just be raising lots and lots of hemp. James Comer said the Agriculture Department has got about 500 pounds of seeds total, right? So Kentucky's Agriculture Department has got 500 pounds, which you would think is a lot, but it's actually only enough to raise 10 acres. So hopefully we're going to raise more hemp than just 10 acres. But for research, how much do you really need, unless you're trying to make some money? If it's all about making money, then, you might be mad about the whole idea of raising 10 acres. I would be excited. I'd be so tickled to death to be able to raise 10 acres on my own. This time, next year, I will be raising hemp. So, I'm excited about that. I would like to see what it is that I would like to apply now, but I doubt I'm renting, so I don't know if I'm allowed to use this backyard to raise hemp. Okay, so some facts about hemp. It needs to get in the ground between May 1st and May 10th. So it's actually about, several days, about 2 weeks late. So the best time to plant hemp is between May 1st and May 10th. Okay, and then I think it takes about 3 months of growing season. A little bit about the debacle. Kentucky had bought 250 pounds of Italian seeds, and they plan to have researchers started planting them in late May when the conditions were perfect. They're hoping to learn that which seeds thrive in which soils and what equipment best harvest the coarse stalks. But at a UPS facility at Louisville International Airport, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol officers put a hold on the 250 pounds of Italian hemp seeds, and then the DEA got involved. So there's a, well, I guess I'm just going to stop it now. So, all right.